You can put less in, or feel anyway, and then hopefully you're going to get more out. You layer some natural speed into your golf swing today. But what generates that snap and that power? You won't feel it. Less is more, and let your arms and club do the work for you. Hi everyone, welcome back to another video on the channel. Thank you very much for joining me for another one. My name is Warren Bennett. We got Trev just chilling out beside the mat there. Let's hope it stays that way. And the statement and the title, as you can see for this video, is less is more. And that's a really important statement to think about in terms of the golf swing, because a lot of club golfers especially, they would put a lot of more in and get a lot of less out. So I'm going to reverse that for you, and I'm going to give you a couple of simple swing thoughts where I think it can really help in terms of your swing and why it sometimes breaks down, and why sometimes the golfer who doesn't create the distance and speed thereafter. I'm going to tell you how you can put less in, or feel anyway, and then hopefully you're going to get more out. So hopefully keep Trev there, get the front camera set up, and I'm going to tell you what it is. So does that look a little bit familiar to you, either in yourself or playing with your friends, and you've noticed someone swinging like that where they've put a lot of effort into their swing, so they've got a lot of motion in their body and there's kind of a bit of a sway and move around with their head. So they're putting in a lot of effort like that, but there's no real speed down there, and I call it natural speed, and I'm going to try and hopefully layer some natural speed into your golf swing today in terms of giving you a couple of little feelings in terms of letting it happen naturally. Seen a few videos of me discussing what less is more is, so I apologise, I'm going to be a bit of a broken record here, but I think it's really important because the human being wants to try and feel like they're putting in the effort. And golf, you have to reverse that. And the instinct for the human being is to put the big twist in, which you need to. But what generates that snap and that power is arms and release down the bottom. How we need to educate our arms and get a more efficient arm swing and release, obviously. But I'm going to break it down to a bit of more of a smaller area of the golf swing, and I'll tell you where I see quite a lot of golfers fall down, and it's a position where they can't feel. So I'm going to give you a couple of feelings which I think if you can have a little bit in your golf swing and layer a little bit of this feeling in, I think this less is more feeling will happen for you. This natural speed will happen for you, and the great thing about that is you won't feel it. And that's the weird thing about golf, you won't feel it because what's happening down there and you're not moving very fast, that's what natural speed is. So every golf club, I think, has a golfer that has been a really good player, and obviously still is a very good player, but has been a very good player, but now they're into their latter years, they haven't the movement that they once had. So these golfers can't twist, their knees and their hips are hurting them, so they can't make the twist that they're wanting, but they still have the education and the efficiency of the arm swing. So you can see there, if I had a bad back or I had bad knees or hips, you can see I'm not moving my body at all. I'll slow a few down, but you can see because of that, now I've got an efficient arm swing. Obviously I've worked to that as a youngster, feet together exercises, things like that, but we all have that golfer, don't we, at the club that stands there, they're into their late 70s, 80s, and they can still hit it quite nicely. You're not going to create the 100% distance that you would if you created the kind of the rotation of the body, but you can still create some nice speed down there. So let me get into the feeling to give you with this. And a lot of golfers I see who have too much movement, too much body, and not enough arms, I'm going to give you the opposite. I'm going to give you more arms and less body, just by giving you a couple of little feelings here. Okay, the first one is we're going to keep our head still. If you move your head over to your right shoe, as you can see with the line, I've moved way off the ball. Well, if you stay there, you're going to flump it, or you're going to miss the ground and then you're going to top it. So if you're going to move off the ball like that to start, you're going to have to move back for balance. And if you do that, you've got too much lateral in your swing. So too much lateral in your golf swing is the first port of call. In your backswing, you want to create the twist, or even if you can't twist, but keep still over the ball. Keep your head over the ball. Let everything react to your head being over the ball. Don't sway off the ball, because like I said, if you sway off the ball, you've got to sway back to hit it. Otherwise you're going to miss the ball, either hit the ground, or you're going to top it. So it's keeping your head nice and stationary. Obviously with an iron it's going to be a little bit more in the middle of your stance, over your nose a little bit. With a driver it's going to be a little bit more off your left foot. but you're still going to keep your head nice and still. You're not going to sway. So with an iron, you're going to have it nicely under your head here, and you're just going to keep your head nice and stationary. So now you don't have to go anywhere. Maybe just to get someone to hold your head whilst you make a few swings. As you can see with the peaks of my cap, when I twist back, they're moving ever so slightly to the right. So my eyes are looking down at the ball, but my head is actually looking kind of over to where my right shoe area, back here. So I'm allowing my head to move, but my eyes are still looking down at the ball, and just gives me a little bit more range of motion to allow me to twist. Right, so let's get up to the top of the backswing, and this is where I want you to do the feeling. A lot of golfers do this is exaggerated. So they go towards the ball, their left arm bends too much, exaggerated, their elbows get too far apart. Because of that, right shoulder gets too high, it's exaggerated. Club gets casty, and then they're having to kind of really muscle it too much. That's obviously split second stuff, you don't really know, but what actually happens is something like this. They go out, their left arm goes across, their elbow gets too tight into their body, and they're looking like this all the time. Their left arm, so we call it lead arm if you're right-handed, if your left arm is straight and it doesn't have an elbow joint, the right arm here you can see is under. If I bend it, look what happens. And I see, that's obviously an extreme version, but that's what I see a lot of people do. They kind of suck their left arm across them and they're like this too much. Then they're having to muscle it. So you really want to try and do the opposite. So do a few practice swings just with your left arm nice and straight, and keep it nice and straight all the way to the impact zone. Really, it should stay straight all the way till about here, and then it bends. So when you think about it, the structure of the left arm stays pretty much similar all the way through, all the way down, all the way through till about here. So if you're used to doing the opposite, that's going to feel quite weird to you. That's why I would recommend just starting off with some practice swings, put a ball on the tee and just hit little clippy 50-yard shots. Nothing too strenuous, not trying to hit it hard straight away. But you're not having an elbow joint. I'm going to give you another feeling to help with that in a minute. And you can slowly blend that up. And I remember as a little nipper practicing this, and I've got a naturally locked left arm. So whether that's a good thing or bad thing, I don't know. But all I know is I can now create a good, efficient arm swing doing that. Nice and locked all the way. Do not let it bend. Look at that, beautiful. And that allows the right arm here to be soft. It allows it to go under. And if it goes under, it's allowed to drop in. There's a natural lag all of a sudden between the left arm and club face. If I do this, look what happens. Right's going to be too dominant, and I'm going to start chucking it. It's exaggerated, obviously. So keeping it nice and locked all the way through. Okay, let's clip a few. So we're just going to do nice, slow, small swings, keeping that left arm, my awareness all the time. Let the right arm settle, that can be nice and soft. But we're keeping that left arm bent. You can stop at the top if you like, do a few rehearsals, head nice and still, keeping over the ball, and keep your left arm as locked as you can. As locked as you can. It's a little exaggerated. Remember, like I always say with any drill, you're trying to do it perfect, because if you're going to do hundreds and hundreds of them, why not? But you don't have to be that perfect, so when you come to hit a shot, you can throw a little bit of your old in, but you just don't want the extreme version. Keep it locked all the way through. Keep it locked all the way through. Oh yeah, oh, let it bend. That's fine. Do not go into the ball that way. If you go into the ball wrong that way, left arm across, there's no power there. That club's just going to cast. You're going to have to put a lot of effort in. You probably have to back up and stand up. A lot of problems can happen from that. Okay, one more, and then I'm going to tell you my little feeling as well to go along with this, to make it even easier. Left arm, keep it straight, keep it straight. Okay, so you can layer that into your practice, do a few into a net, get used to that feeling, and then obviously you can speed up and then let it go. It's all about trying to layer that feeling into your swing, and by doing that, just do some slower swings and then speed up. Slower swings and then speed up. So a little feeling to go along with that is keep your elbows together. A lot of people have elbows that get too far apart, especially in the backswing as well. I call it start your motor. You don't really want to start your motor too much. So you don't want to pull your elbows apart here, because then it's got a lot of work to do to get them back to neutral. A lot of people have this kind of look, flying right elbows, obviously exaggerated, and then if they stay there, club's going to cast. It's too much kind of right side, rear side dominance here. So a lot of corrections will have to be made because of that. So keeping your elbows together, you don't have to at the start, but just keep them the same. So you kind of, let's pull your elbows a bit closer together. You'd rather be your elbows closer than further apart. And look what happens. If I can keep my left arm, there's no elbow joint, but I'm keeping my elbows tight, keeping my elbows tight. So it's the same type of look. So it might be 6 of one, half a dozen the other for you. You might want to feel like your left arm is a little locked, which will help with this kind of elbows together. Or you might want to just do elbows together. So keep it together, keep it tight, keep them really together. Wow, that does feel good. Right, okay. Practice swing, keep them together. Wow, yeah, that does feel like it's going to want to have a little bit more efficiency in my arm swing there instead of the opposite. Because as soon as I do that wrong move, look what I was doing before, even from a good backswing, if I do that, look how far apart my elbows get. Keep them together, all of a sudden a little bit of lock, and my right side is under. That creates natural lag. And if you've got natural lag, which is angle, now you've got natural speed because you can let that angle go. It'll happen for you. Okay, let's do a few slow ones again. Elbows nicely together. I'm going to keep them, I'm going to squeeze them together in the backswing. And I'm going to keep them there. Oh, yes. I'm going to keep my elbows there, but I'm going to squeeze them closer together in the backswing and then really keep them together on the way through, even trying to get them closer. Nice and relaxed at the start. Squeeze them together, squeeze them together. Oh, yeah, I'll tell you what, that really feels like my arms can be kind of united, but at the same time they can be efficient as well. They're working as a unison, but they're working kind of a little bit more than my body would. If I showed you a bad swing, you can see there, if I pull my left arm and bend it and put it across me like this, I have to use my body for power. No good. Elbows together, keep your left arm locked, keep your left arm locked, keep your elbows together. Keep your elbows together all the way through. Oh yes, I'll tell you what, that's really good. Let's try the last one. Let's introduce a little bit more of a still head here. Keep my head over the ball. Really guarantee that you can keep nice and still and let your arms and club do the work for you. So remember, having these little kind of go-to feelings, especially if you can take it out on the golf course, can really benefit. This one area, the one thing that solves for, it's a real benefit to us golfers, because what we don't want to do is think of these 4 things. So you're looking for something that can help. And that's all it is. You're not looking for a complete swing rebuild, but you're looking to try and take the little feeling like this to help this club swing around you. You're not looking for your arms to be tight so you then have to put the effort in. You're looking for trying to create, remember, the maximum amount of speed with control and obviously with consistency, getting it back to the ball squarely. Getting some efficiency and some education in your arms and doing it correctly. Obviously it won't be one shot and it's perfect. You might need to kind of layer it into your swing, but it's a great one to take on the golf course because it's a one thing which is quite small. Obviously the left arm locked can be quite tricky, but keeping the elbows together can be a really great one to help other things in your swing. So if you're the golfer that puts too much effort in and feels like they don't get the reward, every club kind of goes the same distance after your 7-6 iron, something like that, or you're just lacking a little bit of compression speed down there and you're looking for an extra 10 or 20 yards with a driver, try this. Get some efficiency in your arm swing. Get your elbows close together. Get them working together, away from the movement of too much body. Remember, keep your head nice and still and you should be off and running. So I'd love to hear from you. If this is something that you've dipped your toe into or you've got another slant on it, I'd love to hear from you. And remember, we're all here learning. I'm learning. I'm kind of, every comment I hear, I'm kind of evaluating that as well. Obviously it's someone's fault that has to be kind of layered onto. So every golfer is slightly different in terms of build and flexibility and the amount of time they can practice. So this type of little feeling is great because you can practice it as well as you can take it onto the golf course. Okay everyone, so from very cloudy but still southeast of England, we bid you farewell. Thank you very much for all your support, for watching, for liking, for subscribing, and also for joining the Academy through the YouTube membership. So details below. If you fancy just helping me out. It basically gets me onto the mat here. I'm 3 hours from home, and it just keeps the wheels turning, so I really appreciate it, and any help would be very much appreciated. Thank you very much. Okay, so any comments below, like I said, please drop them down there and I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as possible. So from myself and Trev, who's just behind the camera, I'll get him over in a minute, we bid you farewell. Have a great golfing week, stay healthy on and off the golf course. From myself and Trev, there we are, say bye to everyone. We bid you farewell. See you everyone, have a great week, and we'll see you on the next video. Cheerio. Trev, that's good boy. Good boy.